Okay, now I would like you to have two books ready for this video. I need you to get your technique book out and open it to page 8, and then also have out your lesson book. We just did the Mexican jumping bean, and so now I would like you to have it open to the Haunted Mouse, which is page 15, and we're going to work on the next assignment with both books working together. So push pause, get the books, and then come on back. Alright, so I'd like to look at page 8, and again, staccato means that we're detaching. We're not going to hold the note its whole value, we're going to put space between the notes. The amount of space that we leave and the sound of the staccato depends on what type of piece you're playing. So if you're doing the Mexican jumping bean, you'd like it to sound what I call crispy staccatos, where you want them to be nice and short. Oftentimes we want to have a staccato in that we're putting space between the notes, but we don't necessarily need it to sound crispy. Depends on the type of piece. Now, the peacock strut is going to be a way that we are going to practice using the type of hand that we want to do to get the staccatos that we're listening for. And what I'd like you to do is put your finger, see if you can hold your finger in there, or slide your other book, and I want you to turn to page 3. This is in that section called Technique Secrets, and one of the ways to get a really nice staccato sound is to do some what they're calling light hand bouncing. And so I'm going to show this to you. This is a good activity for you to do, particularly now since you're just starting the idea of touching. I'm going to move my guys here. I'm going to put, what they want you to do is put the lid down. I don't know if I put the lid down. I'm not going to put the lid down. Just because I got all my music sitting here and my little camera thing that helps me know when I'm videoing. You can do this by putting your lid down. I'm going to do it by playing it on top of the keys but not pressing the keys down. Alright? And so doing this woodpecker taps, one of the important things about that, and let me move the camera so you can see my hand really well, is having your thumb where you're playing on that part of your thumbnail. Okay, so like right here. I'm trying to point with my finger because I'm holding the camera with the other. If you end up trying to play with your joint, which is this part right here, which it's a common thing that happens, but you're not going to get as good a sound. And notice what happens when you play with your thumb joint. It ends up dropping your wrist, and then you can't keep the nice rounded hand shape. Now what we're going to try to do on the woodpecker taps is they ask you to tap this rhythm of 6 quarter notes that are staccato, and then we have a half note. So I'm going to just bring this down. Again, I'm going to be showing you how I'm playing this, but I'm not going to play into the keys. You're doing this on a closed lid. And what you're going to try to do, I'm doing this with my right hand, you will do this with your left hand as well. But what we want to do is just from our wrist, lightly tap. And so what I'm doing is this do, 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 do. And I'm listening from my wrist and I'm repeating do, 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 do. Now, I always suggest that whatever handedness you are, for instance, if you're left-handed, I know your brother's left-handed, if you're left-handed, you might want to try that with your left hand first. But it's important to try to get that thumb perched like this, which I think we did that in your first technique book, to have that thumb perched on the side of your nail to keep your nice rounded hand shape, so then you can do this bouncing motion to get the staccatos to sound right. Jump back to the peacock strut. Notice that you're going to have the strut is for your right hand, and then the ostrich walk is for your left hand. So you'll have an opportunity of playing 2 quarters and a repeated note. And then maybe I should just show you this. Notice you're going to have a contrast in this piece of legato and staccato. So let me start again. I'm doing the peacock strut. See how I'm just bouncing? That gets us a really nice sound. Now here come my legatos. And light, 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 light. It's to move up an octave. So on that last one, you're going to just take and move on that quarter note, and you're going to do it again. You do the same thing with the left hand. Please write in the starting notes. It'll say your 1 is on, and I'd like you to pencil those in for me. Then let's look at the keyboard trick. And one of the things that we're going to deal with on the keyboard trick is that we're having our one hand is doing something different than the other hand. We're going to ask our left hand to stay down and hold while our right hand is bouncing staccatos. Now, the nice thing about once you practice the keyboard trick, and I'd like you to do it in this order, is that the Haunted Mouse is quite a bit like this exercise. So again, I would like you to write your starting notes in. You should have, and I'm going to let, since Mom knows how to read notes, I'm going to let her check that in case you don't think you get them right. So, what we're going to do, and this is, I'm going to just try to set this over here and see. One of the things is when we're trying to teach our hand to do something different than the other hand, you might need to exaggerate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold, and I'm going to exaggerate this bouncing maybe a little bit more than I would, because I'm trying to teach my hands like crossing whatever's going on in my brain so that I can get the left hand to stay down while the right hand bounces. And I love how the words go along with it. Play and bounce your hand, play and bounce your hand, play and bounce your hand, play and bounce your hand. You could probably see my hand bouncing up and down, couldn't you? And one way you can practice this is they say at the top there, practice playing, you can do this on your closed lid again, playing 1 and 3 together, like that. Then your 2 and 4. Then your 3 and 5, and back like that. So you're going to be playing in what we call thirds, and you're just going to be alternating those fingers. So then take that idea and go to the Haunted Mouse. And it's pretty much the same as what we just did exercise-wise. But I'm not going to play this one for you because I want to see how well you do. You're going to do, this looks like the same thing as our piece that we just played, but then I want you to practice reading the steps. Notice the second line, you're going to be bouncing 2 and 4, just like we did on the exercise. Then you're going to go back to 1 and 3, so you're going to have some work of reading your notes that you're playing together. And then this line is totally different, and you just have to watch your steps. The very last note, it says play the lowest key on the piano. If we had all the ledger lines to show us which one that would be, it would be this, but just so you know, it's that lowest A on the piano. Try the Haunted Mouse after you feel comfortable with keeping one hand down and bouncing this hand. Okay?